Hey everyone, I'm Jeremy Preston. Welcome to the all new and improved Cali Culture Podcast. We discuss everything associated with Cali, Colombia. After listening to this podcast, you'll understand why Cali is considered the best kept secret in South America. Welcome everyone to the Cali Culture Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Preston, and we have a great show for you today. This show, we talk about Cali. We talk about everything associated with Cali, and we also want to explore the benefits of being in Cali, as well as we want to understand what's the life of an expat. And speaking of life as an expat, I have a special guest today that she is from America. She's a U.S. expat, but she's been living in Cali for the last 6 months. And she's going to tell you that whole process of not only moving to Cali, Colombia, but just her whole transitioning and getting acclimated with the culture and her experiences in Cali thus far. So without further ado, please welcome Mariana Oldenburg to the show. Welcome, Mariana. Welcome,
Hello,
welcome.
everyone. Hola, hola. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Good. It's great that you're on the show, and we have a lot to talk about, and you have a lot to share with us. So let's just get right into it. First, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, your background, and what you were doing prior to moving to Cali, Colombia.
Okay, thank you. Well, first, I want to say I am Latina. I am from Panama. I was born in Panama. My dad is Jamaican. My mother is Panamanian. When my mother remarried, we moved to the United States as a military family. Many moons ago, there used to be American bases in Panama. And when my mother became single and remarried, she married with a person, that's like Cali motorcycles. She married a person that was in the army. So we immigrated in the 80s to beautiful San Diego, California.
Mhm.
There, I went to middle school, high school, college, married my college sweetheart, moved to New York. Eventually, he's a professor. Eventually, he found a job teaching at Tulane University in New Orleans. And I lived in New Orleans for the past 20 years plus, where I raised my children. Eventually, after a divorce, I decided to change my life. After COVID, I decided to get out of the house. I had been freelancing as a graphic designer for a long time, but it was always a dream of mine to open a coffee house, some kind of a casual cafe. And so after COVID, I decided to pursue those dreams, and I was hired by a restaurant group called Ralph Brennan, which is a notorious restaurant family in New Orleans. There, I learned a lot. They trained me as a bartender. I learned about bartending and mixology. Eventually, I realized that I could make a lot more money as a bartender.
Mhm.
Found a job as senior bartender with another restaurant group owned by Latinos. And I ended up working at a high end Mexican restaurant where I became senior bartender and I became well versed in Mexican spirits. And I eventually became a mixologist.
Hmm. Wow. You have quite the resume, Mariana. A lot of skills and talents and abilities. I want to talk more about that later. But first, I want to know, why did you decide to move to Cali, Colombia? Because you are Latino and you have a Panamanian background. That's where your roots are. But you decided to move to Cali. So can you just walk us through that decision, why you decided to move to Cali, Colombia, out of all the cities and places to be in South America?
Yeah. Well, like I said, our family moved to the U.S. as a military family. My older sister, Nellie, who's my best friend, married a Colombian man from Cali. They
Mm-hmm.
have been married 40 years plus. When they retired, they chose to move back to Cali, start a business. They work in real estate,
Mm-hmm.
start a business. Eventually, my sister decided to bring my mother, who is now 90 years old. She brought my mother to take care of her, and by age 90, she has some complications. She's relatively healthy, but she
Mm-hmm.
had some complications. She had a complicated surgery. And in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, I need to go see mom. I need to go see mom.
Yeah.
So, February of 2025, I finally decided I'm going to go see mom. I was just visiting mom.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got here, I had never been to Colombia. I realized how wonderful and magical and beautiful Cali is.
Mm-hmm.
And being next to my mother and my sister, I realized how much I miss them.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that, I decided I'm moving. I'm moving to Cali. So I don't know. Maybe Cali chose me, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
moved. So by June of 2025, I sold everything, packed everything, and I moved. And here I am
Wow.
in Cali.
Wow. That's amazing. So I guess the root cause was, you want to see family, you want to be closer to your mom and your sister, and it all worked out. I think I agree with you that Cali seems to find you. I 100% agree with that because that's kind of my story, how I ended up, you know, uh, Cali being my second home, and me buying an apartment and getting a visa in Cali. So I totally agree with that. The Cali seems to just, you either like it or you don't, and it seems to just attract you, pull you in like a gravitational pull. um,
Yeah.
can you describe that transition? So you only been in Cali for what, like 6 or 7 months thus far?
7 months. Yeah, 7
7 months.
months.
Can you describe that whole transition process? I mean, I know you share, you sold everything. I think you said you sold your home and you just packed up and relocated. How difficult was that for somebody that's listening right now that wants to is thinking and considering of moving and relocating to Cali? How difficult is that process?
I would say the first thing they need to do is visit.
Hmm.
Definitely visit, see for yourself.
Hmm.
And most likely, especially if they do it through you, where they can, let's say, connect to other people that can show
Right.
them around, because I have my family. So that was, for me, it was so comfortable.
Hmm.
Right. So I had this advantage of having my family that facilitated everything. But technically, being with my mom and my sister reminded me of where I belong.
Hmm.
And so I went back home. Of course, I meditated on the big decision for about a month and a half. And I was like, that's it. I'm made up my mind. I'm putting my house on the market. I made a plan myself. I had a deadline of selling my house before hurricane season. That's another one. It was very difficult dealing
Hmm.
with hurricanes in New Orleans. So I mapped everything out. I wrote things out, sort of like my deadline to move. I gave myself ample time to sell the
Hmm.
house. I spoke with an immigration attorney to find out, what are the things I need? How can I stay there long term, or at least, the next 5, 6 years, while mom is still around. And then I have to say that also be very intentional. If you visit and you like it and you picture yourself in this beautiful city, be
Hmm.
very intentional about it. Make goals, write things down. Then I just learned about the process of selling my house, emptying my house. I have a dog, my third child, working on the specific of what does it take to bring a dog into Cali, Colombia,
Hmm.
the shots. pricing out
Hmm.
air flights. That was a little complicated because it was difficult to travel with a dog during the summer out of New Orleans. Because of the heat, I had to travel with my dog to Florida and then fly on. I flew on Avianca,
Hmm.
Colombian airline. So just a lot of busy stuff, but make sure you look into the legalities of what it takes to come here.
Hmm.
And again, what made it very easy for me is that I flew straight into this apartment that belongs to my family that
Hmm.
they do this real estate stuff. So a lot of things were facilitated for me.
Yeah.
Any does that do you think
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely,
explains
absolutely.
everything?
Yeah, yeah. And so that it sounds like you took about a month and a half of just direct planning and strategic planning. This is what I
Hmm.
want to do, writing it down and executing. And I think that's the key is like you said, you really have to be focused and intentional about your goals. Because a lot of people
Yeah,
want to move to South America, but then because they don't have the goals documented, it ends up being kind of a plan that's not executed. You know, um,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Have your passport ready, things like that. Don't
Hmm.
I think it's becoming a little bit more and more complicated. Now that
Yeah.
so many people seem to want to move abroad for a while.
Hmm.
And well, we all know that things politically are getting a little bit jumbled up
Yeah.
in the United
To say the
States.
least. Right.
At least have your passport ready,
Right.
please.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now I want to touch on something you had mentioned. This is something I do a lot of consultations with people that want to come to Cali and Colombia in general, but specifically Cali. And I get a lot of people, both men and women, always ask me about the pet thing. Like, okay, what does it take to get a pet from the US to Colombia? And not only that, is Cali in particular, is Cali a pet friendly city? Can you answer
Oh
that?
my gosh. Yes, it is. That's another thing that's amazing. Not only has my life improved, but my pet's life, he goes to a dog academy. I only send him twice a week. They pick him up in this cute little van
Hmm.
with compartments. Like when they catch dogs in the US and they come with that
Yeah.
car that has like little
The little,
compartments per
yeah.
dog. It's air
Hmm.
conditioned.
Hmm.
He was a little bit overweight. He's lost the weight because he gets to hang out in this beautiful finca. Finca is sort of like a ranch, like a big piece of land. He goes to and from. I can go to so many places. The only places where they don't really allow dogs is the grocery stores.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
other than that, we go down to the coffee house.
Hmm.
They bring him water. They know his name. People are really pet friendly, and I have to say that I made my first group of friends because we call each other dog moms because we're dog moms. Go to the park. Next thing you start talking.
Hmm.
Next thing the dogs become friends. So yeah, it's really dog friendly. I have seen dogs in so many like nice restaurants, and people come
Hmm.
in with the dog, and these dogs are trained. They're really chilled. I have to say that not only the vibe of Colombians is really really relaxed, and that's what I like. As we know, the United States can be very stressful, like
Hmm.
either work, 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 or the political climate, or whatever it is. In Colombia, I disconnected from all of that.
Yeah.
I even see people walking their dogs off the leash. So I tell myself, wow, even the animals are more relaxed in Colombia. So
It's
it's,
true.
it's definitely pet friendly.
Good.
Definitely.
And I second that too. That's one of the first things I observed when I moved to Cali is you see dogs and cats everywhere. In fact, as you know, the Parque de Pelo is a dog park. So
Mhm.
there's it's a very friendly dog and cat and pets in general.
Yes.
Very friendly pet, very friendly pet city. And so yeah, those of you that have a pet, that won't be any concern whatsoever. And I also agree that it's an easy way to meet people. That I don't have a pet, but I have been out at wherever, like at a bar or whatever, and I've seen people with a pet, and I go pet the dog, and then just start striking up a short conversation with my small amount of Espanol. So, so it is a good way to break the ice for sure. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, do you like Cali? Do you love Cali? What are your sentiments overall about Cali, Colombia?
I'm sorry. What was there was a motorcycle going by? What was that again?
Yeah, yeah. What are your sentiments about Cali in general within your 7 month stay there? In other words, do you like it? Is it growing on you? Do you love it? Do you is Are you in between? What do you think about Cali, Colombia?
Oh yeah. I will start first of all by saying that there are certain things I miss about the United States when it comes to the cuisine, the food, and the diversity.
Hmm.
And I'm like over here thinking like, wow, immigrants do make the U.S. amazing. You can find anything over there. And I miss my two sons. But Cali, I have to say, I'm gonna sound like Sally Fields. In Cali, people like people. It's like you can go to places and you feel like you let your guard down. I call it. I say that it's like the way people used to be, kind of old fashioned. Like when I grew up in Panama, you just meet people, you feel relaxed. It's almost like you can open your heart, you can reach out to people. They're just welcoming, they are relaxed. Nobody seems to be like doubting you or sizing you up or anything. I tell people who I am and they believe it. They
I agree with
it's
that 100%.
that simple.
That's really what enthralled me with the city, and made me want to be there permanently. I want to be there permanently soon. As you know, I'm back and forth to the U.S., but I want to be there permanently. And for that reason, the U.S. You lived in New Orleans as long as you
Mhm.
did. When you first moved to New Orleans, people were extremely nice. Hello, how you doing? Do you need anything? Let's have a cookout. Let's have a barbecue. And that's the way it was in the U.S. at one point in time, in particular in the
Mhm.
southern states, in the southern region. And I think the U.S. has lost that sense of community. I say this all the time in my video. We kind of lost that sense of community, but I do see that in Cali, and I really like that. That's what really drove me to Cali. Um, and the podcast last week, I was asked. I've been all over the different cities, but Cali did it because of the friendliness and the sense of community, where I didn't see that in some of the other cities. So I 100% agree with you. Agree with you there. Now I have to ask this question: what do you least like about Cali, Colombia? We talked about what you like, which is a lot,
Uh-huh.
but what do you least like about Cali?
I would say again, I will start by saying that it's not that I don't like it, it's that when I came here, I decided I am going to Cali. I am going to acclimate to Cali.
Hmm.
And probably I will say is things like, for example, not being able to pay my electricity bill online. Conveniences like that, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't have a cedula, like an official ID.
Hmm.
So here you'll find yourself still having to go down to the gas and electric office, and waiting in line and things like that. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that wow, I have to do things the old-fashioned way.
Right.
And I don't want to be an ingrate. I don't want to criticize. But sometimes I'm like, wow, this could be more efficient. But nope, I gotta go down to the bank.
Hmm.
I gotta I went to pay a thing called I bought an apartment
Hmm.
and I went to go pay for a thing called boleta fiscal. It's like a fiscal payment that you have to pay on your
Hmm.
apartment. I went to the Banco Occidental, one of the banks, and I thought I could pay. I do have a Colombian bank account. I thought I could pay with either my ATM card or my credit card, and they're like, "Nope, it has to be cash." So I had to walk all the way to the other side of the river, go to the bank, take out the
Yeah,
cash, come back, and then
yeah,
they told me, "Guess what? This was due yesterday. You're gonna have to renew that, and now there's a fee." So things like that that can be, tedious,
yeah.
tedious. But I do it with joy, like in the scheme of things, I'm like, hey, I'm buying my own apartment. Hey, I can afford this. So,
That's right.
but anyways, not that I hate it, but I'm learning to get used to that.
I agree with you there, and I 100% agree. First of all, I will second that. That I never want to complain. I am in Colombia, which is not my home country, so I never want to complain. However, we as expats do observe different things that are different than our home country, and that is definitely one of them. I can remember even going to the migration office to get my cedula, and that was a process. The people were extremely nice and friendly, but it was a process, and you have to have all your paperwork in order uh, to and it's but the thing is one of the things that I enjoy about I want to say I enjoy about it, but I'm okay with it is even in that you still can meet friendly people and they still ask you where
Exactly.
you're from, what do you do, welcome to my country, and I still appreciate again that
Yeah.
hospitality. Even though it's a little bit of a pain because you got to go through other steps in your day that you didn't plan for, but it's a way to be able to, as you indicated, assimilate and understand the culture, the full understanding and comprehension of the Cali culture, which is a good thing.
And you know how you said that you feel like in the US people are losing a sense of community.
Hmm.
Now I know this guy because I know the teller.
Right.
And I can joke with him and I can be like, wow, y'all are really strict in Colombia or whatever, And I actually go there to pay because I'm managing my brother in law's apartment. I
Mhm.
go there to pay the association fee and they let me walk in with the dog. So I go there now. Every month I walk in with the dog. They allow me to do my banking with the dog. And that's what forms
Yeah.
that community. I feel like I have my little El Peñón village. I know the ice cream lady. I
Hmm.
went this morning to buy like two of those big things, jugs of water.
Hmm.
And not only did they hold my dog while I went and bought my water, they brought the water all the way into my building because I live on the same building. But they
Hmm.
carried the water for me because I had the dog because I
Hmm.
you know I didn't have enough hands. They put the water in the elevator and happy to do it. They're happy to
Nice.
to do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is, and that is amazing to me because again, that sense of I want to help you out and make sure you're okay, um, is amazing. I haven't been in a city, and I've traveled all over the world, but I haven't been in a city with this much hospitality. Now, uh, there's other things that you could say that okay, well, a lot of people say, well, there's a lot of crime in Cali and this and that, but
Yeah.
you know I think at the end of the day, there could be crime anywhere and things could happen anywhere. But if you're looking for a city that has genuine hospitality, Cali is probably at the top of the list. It's at the top three, if not the top. Now I want to circle back to your skills, talent, and abilities because a lot of people don't know. I met you online on Instagram, and little did I know, you are in the same neighborhood as I am. We're literally within walking distance of each other. Your
Yeah.
apartment is probably what, a
We're
3 minute
like
walk,
three
if that,
blocks. Yeah, like
right?
three
Three
blocks.
blocks. Yeah. Cali, I always say Cali is the third largest city. It's not a small city, but it's not a big city either, where you can't meet somebody and then most likely be able to walk to that person's location because it's very walkable. With that being said, so I know just in the conversations we've had that you have some business endeavors and some aspirations to use your talents and abilities in Cali to be able to contribute to the culture. So I'd like you to talk on that a little bit. Just tell us what your plans are in regards to business and opportunities and what you can bring to the table for locals and expats and travelers as well.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, when I came to visit my mom in February, my sister was showing us a really nice apartment that they renovated. You know, they buy these old big apartments, they renovate it so they can rent it. You know, that's what they do. They're in real estate. And I saw this really great looking apartment. They were asking my design sense because I am a designer, and I was like, ah, the color, this and that. And it was a really nice apartment. And it just dawned on me, I'm like, could I do this? And they're like, yeah, just bring your money. I'm like, okay, okay. Now I have a purpose. So
Right.
the purpose is, you know, to do that, be in the family business. I do want to expand and service expats because I feel that that's going to be my niche. You know,
Hmm.
Colombians got Colombia, but for Europeans or Americans that may be wanting to move here,
Hmm.
that they may need somebody to I wrote some things. I wrote real estate sourcing, help them find an apartment, help them get to know like sort of the neighborhoods that are viable for somebody that doesn't have a car or somebody that likes a particular lifestyle close to great shopping centers, safe areas,
Hmm.
close to a hospital, cafes, things like that, restaurants. Help them source these apartments, go visit, make a decision if they want to purchase an apartment, help them with the paperwork. I've gone through it for myself, gone through it for my brother-in-law, so now I'm getting the hang of it, you know, reading the terminology, um, also, not just that, but also helping them discover the neighborhoods where they can go.
Hmm.
I did that, the exact same thing for my brother in law. We went through different neighborhoods. It's like, this one is too secluded, or this one, blah, blah, blah. I
Hmm.
like this one because it's close to a hospital.
Hmm.
And not only that, I said, okay, now let me take you on walking tours so that you can see where Granada, Zona Rosa,
Hmm.
amazing place. You can even find bagels. I found bagels walking here in
Nice.
Colombia. Yeah.
Nice.
And then so, you know, help people who know they might have a need of like, hey, I'm bringing my mom. I need a nurse. I
Right.
can help you source a nurse. I need a cleaning lady. I can help you source a cleaning lady. I need somebody with transportation. I can help you source that. So I want to be sort of like a resource person that can help people that are relocating, expats
Hmm.
or whatever, that are relocating here that don't really know anybody. I like to go places. I like to go out. I like, you know, I
Yeah.
go to restaurants. I'm all over the place. So I want to be that source. Then on the other hand, I am a vegan. I've been a vegan since my late 20s. And the way I eat, I don't eat vegan food per se.
Hmm.
I eat ethnic foods that are naturally vegan, Japanese,
Hmm.
Thai food, Indian food, Italian food. I can eat it anywhere as
Hmm.
long as I look at the menu and I see options that are good for me. But when I came here, I'm finding that veganism is really green over here, pun intended. So I feel like, that's and as a vegan chef, I'm like, okay, that is a niche that I can be in where I can bring something new to the table. And in my apartment that I bought it in a building that is half tenants, half commercial. So
Hmm.
and I bought there specifically because I want to open what they call an obscure kitchen. Or in the US, they call it a satellite kitchen and do
Hmm.
like meal prep. I want to do, let's say, not like a restaurant, but people order ahead and then they have their stuff delivered. Let's say, Jeremy, you decided I'm gonna do a cleansing for 4 days,
Hmm.
an all juice cleansing. I will prepare the juices for you. People don't want to mess with, doing all that stuff. And they
Hmm.
want to order the juices. Or you don't have time to cook, you want to include more vegetables and healthy stuff into your diet.
Hmm.
You go ahead and order for me. You place your order. And then over here, it's really easy to get things delivered with those motorcycles, those
Hmm.
Rappi motorcycles.
The ones you heard in the background, right? That we heard in
And
the back.
they never stop.
Right,
They don't sleep. They don't sleep.
right,
It's sort of like Uber Eats, but on motorcycles.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. And also eventually as a bartender, I used to be hired to bartend parties and bring my team. They would tell me, this is what we want. We want old fashions, margaritas, sangrias, and frozen margaritas. I would go ahead, get everything organized, show up early, bring my team, and I would bartend those parties.
Nice. So I'm
Yeah.
hearing like three skill set talents and business endeavors here. You can do the whole walking tour. I call it assimilation almost tour because
There you go. Yeah.
you're providing,
Integration,
yeah,
assimilation. Yeah.
integration, assimilation, because you're providing people with the service of being able to help find the right apartment in the right barrio neighborhood,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, to the right gym, the right bar, sports bar, whatever. Just kind of an
Yeah.
all inclusive way to be able to assimilate. And then you do the vegan food, which is
Yeah.
great with you,
Mhm.
is very important in Cali, and that's a growing cuisine, I would say, in Cali.
Yeah.
Definitely, could there definitely be room for improvement from an expat.
There's a
And
lot of room.
yeah, and then the whole mixology cocktail, cocktail, service. That's great
Mhm.
because everybody likes
Yeah.
a cocktail. So I think those of you that are listening in, you definitely need to connect with Mariana because she has a lot of, um, I call it boots on the ground information and services that she can provide you. And I think it'll be very helpful for Cali, extremely helpful for Cali. I can't wait to try some of that vegan food. I need to get on the vegan diet. I got the working out part right. Sometimes I don't eat.
I think you will like it. And I'm not saying people have to become vegan, so you could be supplementing. Say, okay, I grill my chicken or my steak. I'm gonna
Right.
accompany it with this, with
Hmm.
these vegan offerings. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing I can say about Cali is the physical fitness part of it. They got America beat by like a landslide when it comes to physical fitness because what do we always see Caleños doing? Walking, running, dancing,
Running
right?
and cycling too. They're big into cycling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always outdoors. Always on their phones, always outdoors, and that obviously leads to a great healthy lifestyle. And so yeah, yeah, live right, eat right, perfect combination. Don't stress,
Yeah.
perfect combination, right? So I got just a few questions here, and we'll have to wrap up because we're obviously gonna have to have you back on the show because we got so much other stuff to talk
Yeah.
about. But I did want to address real quick safety because that's one of the first questions, or it is a recurring question that I always get is, well, I would love to visit Cali, but we believe, or I believe, or they believe Cali is unsafe. And I get that a lot in my consultations that people believe that Cali is unsafe. What do you say to that? Like you live there, you've been there for 7 months. You know some things that have happened in Cali.
Yeah.
At the same time, you do a lot of walking. You associate with the locals. So, what do you think from a safety standpoint? What would
From
you
a
say to
safety
viewers?
from a safety standpoint, I would say some people rather do Uber instead of taxis. I do mostly taxis But I do that like in the daytime, short distances. If I'm gonna go somewhere like in the south,
Mhm.
a little farther away. Let's say I'm going to the IKEA. Yes, there is IKEA here.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm going to the IKEA, like a 15-20 minute trip. I will do an Uber because it's safer. Personally, I feel really safe in El Peñón because I've been here a while. I walk all the time. El
Mhm.
Peñón, and I even say that, well, I live in a bubble. I
Mhm.
live in the bubble of El Peñón has a lot of restaurants and nightlife
Yeah.
and a lot of security guards. So I know them, they know me. You wave. I know a lot of the business owners.
Mhm.
So I feel really safe, even if I'm having to walk my dog at 10 p.m. at night.
Mhm.
But I might not go down the darker streets. You use common sense. You
Right.
use common sense. And now the area where I'm moving to in Centenario,
Mhm.
they don't have as much nighttime activity. So I have to be wise. I don't think I'm gonna be walking the dog at 10 p.m.
Mhm.
Just use common sense. Personally, I get a dog. I feel like going anywhere with my dog makes me seem like, oh, she's just the vecina, the señora. She's
Yeah.
a local walking her dog. There's
Right.
a sense of safety with the dog, of
Mhm.
going places, and also they allow you to explore. You can go so much farther.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, definitely use caution. Things can happen. Me as a woman, let's say I'm coming from La Tertulia, which is the best museum here. It's about 4 blocks from me. And
Right.
I often go there to the movies, and the better movies come later at night. So I might be leaving the movie theater at 9:45, walking down the street. And if I feel a presence of somebody behind me, they may just be walking, but for my own safety, I take charge of the situation. I pull aside and I let them walk in front of me. It's as
Right.
simple as that.
Yeah.
If you feel something, trust your instinct.
Right.
Don't put yourself in harm's way. But
Mhm.
I feel that in these neighborhoods, overall, you're relatively safe. Now, if you're gonna make yourself vulnerable and you're walking home after, several drinks late at night, that's a
Like
poor
an idea.
decision.
Right. Poor decision. Poor decisions anywhere in the world can get you into
Mm-hmm.
bad decision. So
Yeah.
it's best to be wise. You live in New Orleans, and I've had
Mm-hmm.
family in New Orleans, and I know that New Orleans can be rough sometimes.
Yeah.
Certain areas in New Orleans can be rough, and it's the same virtually everywhere in the world. That there's certain areas that can be rough, and anything can happen. If you put yourself as a target, anything can happen. So I totally agree with you. In El Peon, which is my neighborhood as well, I feel relatively safe. Not to say that something can't happen, but uh, I don't put myself in bad situations where I could be more susceptible to things happening or being in a bad situation. So that's most of it, and that's what I tell the people that I advise is, basically the same thing is if you feel something is not right, then try to remove yourself from the situation. Like your example of, somebody's walking behind you, you don't feel something's right, let them walk past you so they're not
Yeah.
behind you. That way you could defend yourself if necessary,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good thing. Well, last but not least, I'm not gonna let you leave until you give your final statements, final wording in regards to Cali, in regards to what your plans are in the next, say, 3 to 4 months or this year in general. You've already shared with us that your business endeavors, but I would like for you to give the last final statements and words in Spanish. We do have a lot of Spanish viewers, a lot of
Okay.
Latino viewers. So I don't think anybody wants me to try to speak Spanish. So, so I'd like to hear your last words in Spanish, if you don't mind.
Ok, para mi gente latina, en Cali estoy feliz, feliz, muy agradecida, llena de planes, de ideas. Primero tengo que tener mi visa, la visa es primero, los papeles, todo legal, hacerlo todo bien, porque yo vine aquí a ser parte de Cali, cosas como hay que pagar impuestos, you gotta pay taxes, hay que pagar impuestos, aquí hay que hacerlo todo bien, en orden, pero sí tengo muchos planes y veo ramas en donde yo puedo servir y puedo contribuir a la comunidad caleña y bueno, aquí es maravilloso. Y yo como panameña, acuérdense que Cali y Panamá una vez éramos el mismo país. Y siempre ha habido gente colombiana en mi familia, siempre he tenido esa conexión con Cali y ahora aquí estoy. Yo desde que llegué a Cali me la paso diciendo, Cali es una maravilla, una maravilla. Yo vivo al frente del río, aquí estoy viendo las iguanas, los pájaros, en la noche se escucha ese río corriendo. Ustedes saben muy bien lo bello que es Cali. Cali es Cali, lo demás es Loma.
Well said. Well said. Great way to end the show. And I will extend my thanks and gratitude for you taking the time out of your nice day, even though you're in beautiful Cali and I'm in America right now. But thanks for taking the time out of your nice day to come on the show. It's been very enlightening, and I know the viewers can take a lot from what you said and what you shared. And I'm gonna have to check in, and we'll have to do another show later in the year to see how
Yeah.
you're doing, and just share with us your business endeavors and how and what you're doing. We want to hear that here on Cali Culture Podcast. So again, thank you very much, and take care of yourself. Look forward to seeing you soon, as you're basically my neighbor. And for those viewers out, um, be stay connected with us. Obviously, like, follow, join the community, and then look forward to the next episode because we have another special guest that's written a book. He is out of Miami. He was a U.S. Marine, and he has a lot of experience with actually being a Marine in Colombia, U.S. Marine in Colombia, and being stationed there. And so he's going to give you some enlightening information about how to be safe in Cali, Colombia. You don't want to miss episode 3 for sure. So until then, everybody have a great day. Remember, Cali is Cali. Be safe. Always stay in the community. Let's continue to build the community, and we'll see you the next time. Thank you. Take care.
Yes.
Thank you for watching the Cali Culture Podcast with Jeremy Preston. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week for our next episode.